Okay, Friday, April 8th. I don't know, it's been a few days because it's just been the same routine, air raid siren, but life goes on. We just assume that if it's coming for Lviv, it's not coming for anything civilian. Maybe it's bad. I don't know, but I always think you got to keep fighting and keep going on with your life, and any little thing you can do as an act of rebellion by not being scared is good. I mean, every time you live in fear, you're giving in. So I'm just making these small acts of rebellion just by going on with my life, and just working and helping out where I can. So yeah, I've been really bogged down with work too. I work in a large IT company, and it's Indian, but it's based in the U.S. and it's incredibly bureaucratic, and we still have to do project charters and things on PowerPoint, instead of using a tool like Clarizen or Jira or something like I've worked before, and it's getting it gets tiring. You just burn out of it, and it's just hard to do stuff that's not interesting, so. Yeah, yeah. I'll be going on 3 years in this company probably in September, October, and then I'll start looking for a new job. Hopefully, something locally. Now that I'm fully moved over here in Ukraine and got myself set up, I want to do something here more in the local area, with some Ukrainian IT companies. I like working with Ukrainians. They don't jibber jabber so much like Indians or Americans. They just to the point. I don't know if that's stereotyping or not, but I've always been comfortable here. I used to live in Estonia. I lived in Sweden, but I moved over to Estonia when I was living in Sweden, spending more time there. And then when I was living in Norway, I was coming to Ukraine a lot. I just, it just suits me better. I don't know. A lot of people ask, why are you here? I'm like, why aren't you here? I ask, and now we're seeing a lot of Ukrainians coming back from Europe. They're not liking all the rigidity and I don't know, all the little nuances of being in Europe. You know, um, there is something to life here. It's every day is a little bit of an adventure. You kind of see some weird things that you don't normally see every day. Like this big yard out here. This yard out here, right? So I saw a Toyota Land Cruiser, like one with gold rims and everything. All decked out, tinted windows, and four guys jump out of the Land Cruiser, and I thought they were like mafia dudes, but they started like shoveling sand into bags and taking the bags in a Land Cruiser, and I imagine they were using that to make preparations, in case there's bombing or something, block the windows and things like that. But you just see weird things like this when you live here, you know. you just uh, you just see stuff you don't normally see every day. So you wouldn't see that in Norway for sure. Four dudes jumping out of a gold, Land Cruiser with gold rims, packing bags of sand. You just don't see that every day. So we've heard a lot of stories, and also I was just kind of being blacking out just to. I didn't want to comment on anything, but apparently there was an airstrike in Lviv, but we didn't hear much about it. A few days ago, we had an air alarm. Supposedly, 3 out of 4 missiles were shot down. One missile, I don't know, went astray, but I didn't hear anything about it. It's just all rumors just circulating around. So I don't know. It's been almost a week. So I don't think I'm revealing anything. And then there was a raid. I didn't want to comment on this either when it happened, but these Ukrainian pilots went into Russia and blew up an oil refinery, and the Ukrainians are denying it, and the Russians are saying that the Ukrainians did this. A lot of people are saying it's a false flag. All I can say is the videos and stuff are too perfect. Usually the videos that people catch when things are going on, they're caught off guard, and you can see the cameras are moving and shaking and stuff. I don't know if Ukraine would do that. I know they could do it. They could go behind the enemy lines, and they should be going behind the enemy lines and blowing up supply lines and everything. But I don't think they would do it that way. I don't think they want to, I think maybe NATO is holding them back. I don't know. It would be great if they did. And if they did do it, I hope they're denying it. So I hope it happened, but I hope that we never know. It's kind of that thing, I mean, you don't want to admit your capabilities. Flying, 100 feet over the ground. I mean, this was like the way the Israelis took out the Iraqi nuclear plants in the 80s. They were flying, at treetop level, for half a day, bombed the reactors, and then came back. I mean, this is like one of those daring missions. It's very, very high risk, especially with these old Soviet helicopters. I mean, even on a good day, they can fall out of the sky due to mechanical failure. It's so it's really, really hard to know what's true and not true. But I hope it's true. But I hope they never admit to it, and I hope it can be repeated. Now we're hearing a lot about the Russians have left Kiev, and yeah, I'm hearing that too. And people are going there now. People are having more confidence to drive between here and Kiev. Apparently, I don't know. But they look like they're regrouping. They're regrouping to the east, and that's what we kind of expected. And there was a really nice analysis on this YouTube channel called Task and Purpose. And this guy who narrates this found out where all the oil fields are. Oh yeah, see, everything's back normal. Dogs barking, little kids running around. I mean, this is yeah. I don't know what he's snatched. They're just. This is what we used to do when we were kids, just go chase each other all the time outside. When you're in Norway, all the kids are on devices now. You don't see them playing outside so much unless they're at the ski resort or something. But here they're just all outside chasing each other around. It's kind of nice. This is kind of like America in the 60s and 70s here. It's things don't work perfectly. You got to kind of use your own imagination a little bit, and you spend a lot of time outside. So we got neighbor walking the dog, and all this kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know whether there's a dog. If you can get it in the camera, yeah, there's a dog there. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, it's I don't know. The war is going into a new phase, they say. So the Russians will be consolidating where they were having some reasonable success in Donbass and in in Mariupol, if you want to call that success. I mean, it was a massive genocide there. I don't have much to say about that. It's just devastating, and I can't believe the world lets that go on. But there's plenty of other YouTubers saying that. I just want to give more of the technical analysis that I think they will be fighting pretty hard for those lands to connect the Donbass to the Crimea, just like everyone is saying this. I'm not saying anything new, but I think that's where the war will be, and they'll just keep shooting missiles around. And everyone's talking about the war being over. It's not going to ever be over till Putin is dead, or they burn Russia down to the ground. I strongly feel that way. It's going to be this kind of low intensity conflict, and it's going to make people nervous to come here, make people nervous about investing here, and all this rebuilding of Ukraine isn't going to happen until there's some stability. If there's always they start rebuilding and then Russia attacks again, that's not going to happen. So when do we reach this point of stability where the rebuilding can start? Because everyone's talking about it, and it's going to happen. Yeah, if Putin died tomorrow and the new Russian leadership begs for forgiveness and pays reparations, and they agree to be disarmed like Japan after World War II. And yeah, it'll be an economic boom like you've never seen. I mean, the money will come in here. I mean, there'll be a lot of guilt from the countries not fully helping, and especially from Germany, and they will build this place. It'll be like an economic bonanza. But when does that start? That starts when there's some marked stability, when everything is stable here. So again, it's all about a matter of words and definitions. Just like if you're working in some engineering job, what is a definition of done? If you're a project manager like myself, well, how do you define the end state and things being done? It's very fuzzy, but to me, it's obvious. To me, Russia has to be done. When Russia collapses on its own weight, or Putin is assassinated, or he just dies, or the Ukrainians really stick it to him where they can get a treaty and push them completely out of Ukraine, and then they can arm themselves and build a wall to keep them out, and that there's plenty of weapons here to protect the investments of the Western nations, and protect all the rebuilding so that they can never come back. They have Patriot, Iron Dome, they're getting F-16s, F-15s, A-10s, all this kind of heavy weaponry, all gifted, from all over the world. Then this reconstruction can start, and it will be grand. It was already good, before the war started. I mean, it was slow. I mean, like these building projects here, they were, but they were happening, and there were new ones coming online all the time, and new apartments coming, and old buildings being torn down, albeit very slowly. But when it starts again, it's going to be on steroids, and they're going to have to bring people here from all over the world to, fill in all the labor shortages. I mean, Ukraine is an old country in terms of age. Like, average age here is pretty high, and it's going to take a lot of young guys to make all these buildings and stuff. You have a lot of old guys doing it. They move pretty slow, and they drink a little bit and take a lot of smoke breaks. But yeah, there'll be a lot of new building technology coming here, to build these things fast, maybe build in the factories, or, and then assemble it on site. You see that a lot in Norway because it is so damn cold out there. They bring all the pieces from a factory and they assemble it on site versus doing all this bricklaying. Like, all this stuff is like concrete and brick, just guys, just all done by hand. All these buildings are, you can't believe it, but they're all hand built. Just guys moving their hands every day, little by little and piece by piece. And just like you see this guy just shoveling. There's a guy out here just working with a shovel on a pile of sand. And it's just like that, slowly by slowly. That's how life is here. Things are slow. I used to always be on time before I moved here. Now I'm always like an hour late. Yeah, half hour to an hour late everywhere I go. It can change you here a little bit. This place can change you. But anyway, I'm probably going to switch my videos into more about American politics and what, that's another topic I like to talk about. I'll make some war videos every now and then, if anything interesting happens. But right now we are kind of like in a new normal, if you want to say that. This war is kind of gone from an intense phase to what they call a steady state. Now it's like, yes, there's a lot of atrocities and everything, but they're uncovering. But it just seems like it's gone into a new phase. I don't know if Russia's reloading and ready to come back again. They are calling up a lot of reservists, and everything they say is a lie. Whenever they say they don't do something, they do it. So they're conscripting a lot of people. So I don't know if this is like a calm. It's definitely not calm, with all the genocide and things. But from a Lviv perspective and from my perspective, I'm not having anybody in eastern Ukraine or anybody affected by this. So for me, it's been calm. I'm just standing on the outside saying, oh, that's terrible, but it hasn't hit me personally. I just want to make that clear, but I'm not taking this lightly, but I just want to just trying to convey my feelings and thoughts about this, that I feel like we're in a bit of a lull right now, and there's kind of just a new normalcy that's happening here, so yeah, I'm gonna go get my hair cut next week too. It's been a while. Anyway, take care everybody, and you all have a good night.